Hey guys, thank you so much for dropping by the According to Mish channel. You're here because you enjoy reading and love discussing some of the messy and not very messy issues of life while viewing them through the lens of someone else's eyes. I believe that there's no better way to know what other people think and have learned about life than through books. As the saying goes, a reader lives 1,000 lives while the man that does not read lives only one life. If you're new here, welcome and don't forget to subscribe. So today I'm going to talk about the importance of having people that one looks up to, and I think that most of you guys have heard about Maya Angelou. I chose to focus on Maya Angelou because I think that out of a lot of the people that I consider as my role models, Maya Angelou is one of the people who had just a lot of tragic events happen in her life, and I think she still took, despite of all the things that happened to her, she still managed to just change her life around and carve an interesting life and identity for herself, and that's why I am going to focus on her. I hope that you guys have read some of Maya Angelou's books because they are easily accessible. You can probably find them at your local bookstore or at public libraries, so I guess that's great for that reason. But she has quite a lot of books. A lot of her books are centered around her life and some of the events that took part in her life. I really love her novels because they're told in a very authentic manner, and I guess they are easy reads, easy to understand, but she totally opens up in a way that a lot of writers do not, because she kind of just really opens herself and lets us into her life and I guess to understand some of the events that took part in her life, and I guess the authenticity just makes it really interesting and very insightful and open. In regards to role models, I think that it's important to have them because sometimes they can help us to navigate through some of the issues that we go through in life. And I guess it's just having that person whose authority you totally respect because you either see them as someone that has a lot of insight and wisdom, and I guess it's important to have that in one's life. So one of the interesting things for me is sometimes when people try to find role models, they tend to look for either people who are perfect, and I guess obviously the person is a role model because they're doing a lot of things right and we want to emulate that. Most of the times when people think of role models or think of taking up that role in someone's life, they tend to think, oh, I have to be perfect, or I want to edit myself so that I seem perfect, or I want to emulate someone who is, I guess, better than myself by far and far. And I guess I feel like Maya Angelou took the other way around, where she goes, I'll just be totally open and show you even the negative things that happen in my life. And I think that's the main thing that people, like connect with her on, because she's able to show how you can be imperfect but you can still at the end of the day change your life when you decide to. And I think I like that, to be able to know that a lot of the mistakes that a person make, they can actually reverse them when they make the commitment to do that. I feel like that's what I did get from Maya Angelou's books and why she is a role model for a lot of young adults, and I think that her books are a huge gift in that way. When I think of her, a phrase from her book, Gather Together in My Name, just comes to mind, and I'm going to, it's I guess a paragraph. I'm going to read that paragraph because it was one of the most impactful ones for me. I thought about the kindness of the man. I wanted him before for the security I thought he'd give me. I loved him as he slouched, nodding, his mouth open and the saliva sliding down his chin as slowly as the blood had flowed down his arm. No one had ever cared for me so much. He had exposed himself to me to teach me a lesson, and I learned it as I sat in the dark car inhaling the odors of the wharf. The life of the underworld was truly a rat race, and most of its inhabitants carried like rodents in the sewers and gutters of the world. I had walked the precipice and seen it all, and at the critical moment, one man's generosity pushed me safely away from the edge. I don't know about you guys. I don't know about like what some of you guys thought when you read the book, if you have, and what you will when you read it. But I could not help but cry because I thought that in that paragraph I kind of got to understand like maybe Maya Angelou's intentions when she wrote some of her novels and told some of her stories, because to be able to open yourself up that way to others just for the sake of being able to help them when they are either facing those critical moments in their lives when they make decisions that alter, like their lives for good. And if they can take your example, something that you've gone through, and then they end up making a decision that's different just because they've heard of some of your stories, I think that's just great. And I think that that's sometimes as role models, yeah, it's okay to open up and say some of the wrong decisions that people have made at some point. And I think that is just equally as impactful sometimes as telling people the positive stuff, because then it helps people realize that even if you've made a few wrong decisions at some point, you can still change it up. I think that Maya Angelou's books are awesome for that reason. And if you've not read any, do so. They're easy reads, they're more for young adults, but even as an adult, if you haven't read any, just get one and read one. Maya Angelou is awesome. So yeah, I hope that you guys will enjoy the books. I would love to know what you guys think. Do you think that a role model should be perfect? Or can a role model just be a regular human being with mistakes but has some wisdom and insight to share just from what they've learned? Thank you so much for visiting the Coding to Miss channel. I hope that you enjoyed the video, and I hope that you'll enjoy the books. I would love to know what you guys think, so please comment, like, and subscribe if you'd like to get more of these videos. Until next time, bye bye.